Okay, so you want to hear about ancient China? Buckle up, Buttercup, because we're talking thousands of years, countless emperors, and enough drama to make a reality TV show jealous. Think of Chinese history like your favorite band's discography, periods of awesome new sounds or dynasties followed by some, well, less memorable tracks. But each one contributes to the band's overall sound, right? That's ancient China in a nutshell. A cycle of dynasties rising, rocking out, and then fading away, only to be replaced by a new band with a fresh sound. And let me tell you, some of these dynasties were total rock stars. Imagine a dynasty like a really popular kid in school. At first, they're awesome. They're super organized. Think new laws and efficient taxes. They throw the best parties. Think economic prosperity and cool inventions. And everyone wants to be their friend. Think expanding borders and tons of influence. This mandate of heaven thing, basically the universe giving the dynasty a thumbs up. They're in power for a reason and things are good. But here's the catch, popularity fades. Our star dynasty gets a little too big for their britches. They become corrupt, lazy, and start taxing everyone like crazy to fund their lavish lifestyle. Sound familiar? I'm looking at you, senior year of high school. It inspired generations to come. Section 4. Golden Age Hangover Tang to Song. This is the story of two dynasties that shaped China's history in ways that still resonate today. After the Han Dynasty, things got a bit messy. China entered a period of disunity with warlords and short-lived dynasties vying for power. Dynasties came and went faster than you could say Dynastic Cycle. It was a chaotic time, but it set the stage for something extraordinary. Then came the Tang Dynasty, another golden age. Known for its cultural brilliance, the Tang era was a time of prosperity and innovation. They were all about art, poetry, and having a good time. Poets like Li Bai and Du Fu became household names, their work celebrated even today. Think of them as the life of the party, inventing things like gunpowder and printing. These innovations would go on to change the world. They even had the first female emperor, Wu Zetian. Talk about breaking barriers. Her reign was both controversial and groundbreaking. But you know, even the best parties have to end sometime. The Tang dynasty eventually declined, plagued by internal strife and rebellion. The Song dynasty took over, and while they weren't as flashy as the Tang, they were the real intellectual powerhouses. They focused on governance, science, and technology. They invented things like the compass and paper money, tools that revolutionized navigation and trade. I mean, imagine life without online shopping. The Song dynasty laid the groundwork for modern commerce, but they also faced some tough times, like the invasion of the Mongols, which tested their resilience and marked the end of their era. And that brings us to our next set of rock stars, the Mongols, who would leave their own indelible mark on history. Section 5. New Kids on the Block: Yuan, Ming, and Qing. These three dynasties were like the headliners of a historical concert, each bringing their own unique style and energy to the stage of Chinese history. The Yuan dynasty was like that one friend who's really into foreign cultures. They were outsiders, Mongols to be exact, who managed to take over China and make it their own. See, they were actually Mongols, led by the infamous Kublai Khan. He was a grandson of Genghis Khan and had a vision of uniting vast territories under his rule. They ruled over a huge empire stretching from China to parts of Europe. But, well, they weren't exactly known for their fashion sense. Those hats, though. They were practical, sure, but not exactly runway material. After the Yuan dynasty, the Chinese people were like, okay, we got this. They wanted to reclaim their identity and culture, which had been overshadowed by the Mongols. Cue the Ming dynasty, who kicked out the Mongols and reasserted Chinese rule. They were determined to restore the glory of China, and they did so with style and grandeur. They were all about rebuilding and showing off their culture. The Ming dynasty gave us architectural wonders like the Forbidden City and exquisite porcelain that became the envy of the world. They even launched those massive treasure ships to explore the world, and maybe brag a little. These voyages, led by Admiral Zheng He, showcased China's naval power and ambition. Finally, the Qing dynasty. They were the last dynasty standing before things got really modern. The Qing dynasty was established by the Manchu people, who came from the north and brought their own traditions and governance style. They ruled for almost 300 years, a period marked by both expansion and challenges. The Qing emperors were skilled administrators, but they also faced growing internal and external pressures. They expanded the empire to its largest size ever, incorporating diverse regions and cultures. However, they also had to deal with numerous internal struggles, rebellions, and the pressures of a changing world. Think of them as the band that had a few too many farewell tours. Despite their efforts to hold on, the Qing dynasty eventually gave way to a new era, marking the end of imperial China and the beginning of modern history. Section 6. The Dynastic Cycle's lasting impression. So we've covered the rise and fall of some major dynasties. But what does it all mean? Well, this whole dynastic cycle thing wasn't just about who was in charge, it shaped how Chinese society worked. The idea of a mandate of heaven meant that rulers had to be just and fair, at least in theory, to stay in power. It also led to a focus on strong central governments and a belief in order and hierarchy. Confucianism, which emphasized things like respect for elders and fulfilling your role in society, became a major influence on Chinese culture for centuries. Section 7. Ancient China still matters, because of course it does. Okay, so that was a super fast crash course through thousands of years of Chinese history. I know, your brain probably feels like it just went through a rice cooker. But here's the thing, ancient China isn't just some dusty old history book. Its legacy is everywhere in modern China, from the Great Wall snaking across the landscape to the Confucian values still influencing family life. Understanding this history helps us understand China today, its culture, its government, and its place in the world. Plus, it's full of epic stories, cool inventions, and enough drama to keep you entertained for, well, dynasties.